Hello and welcome to this beautiful exploration of the lunar eclipse in Virgo, where what I find to be the embodiment of seeing things as we are and not as they are. Eclipses are gateways to transformation, and they invite us to realign with our deepest truths and our deepest connection with our souls. And this lunar eclipse in Virgo, the first of four for 2025, is a potent moment of release, of healing, and of spiritual awakening. The last time that the nodes were in Virgo-Pisces axis and we had an eclipse like this was in 2015 and 2016. So it's actually a surrender of those things that were building up at this time in our lives. So as I explore this video, I urge you to reflect back on and have a look at your photos or your diaries and reflect back on what energies were experienced during this time and what it is that you can find to let go of. But as the moon illuminates this Virgo and Pisces axis, we are being invited to balance the practical with the spiritual, the body with the soul, and merging in the mind, body, and soul connection, and experiencing and shedding out these old ways of being in order to make way of new space, new lymphatic connection, new mind, body, soul connection, and new expansion into this integration of a new way of living and a new way of being. We are galactically being guided to upgrade our DNA, and at the heart of this eclipse there is this strong realization that we do see things as we are, not as they are. The way that we view our world is actually shaped by our inner state, our beliefs, our internal dialogue, our fears, our patterns, and our soul's deepest yearnings. And the eclipse is about releasing out these old layers that are clouding our vision and embracing the truth of who we truly are. It is asking us to clear away the mental noise and rigidity so that we can truly align with our deepest purpose and potential, and inevitably heal this mind, body, soul connection through this Virgo-Pisces axis. Because this eclipse is speaking directly to the balance of our health and our daily routines, our spiritual connection as well with that Piscean stellium that we have as well. Now, Virgo in and of itself is a sign of health and service. It is the alchemist, and it's asking us to examine and alchemize our habits, our routines, and the care that we do give our bodies. Pisces is the sign of the soul and the divine, and it is drawing us inwards, urging us to trust in the unseen and to listen to our intuition. It is in this integration of both of these energies we are being invited to heal the divide between our bodies and our spirits. We're being invited to reflect and nurture ourselves both physically and emotionally, as well as spiritually. And Virgo is also calling us to refine our routines and to let go of habits that aren't serving us on the highest good and serving our well-being and that of those that surround us on an energetic plane as well. It is actually a strong connection with this eclipse that has a collective consciousness appeal to it, because when we're speaking about lunar eclipses, the lunar eclipses and the lunar illuminations, including a full moon, is the illumination of the inner world and what we don't actually see. And Pisces is reminding us that our true health is holistic and our spiritual nourishment is just as vital as our physical care. So these energies collectively are calling us into a deeper connection with ourselves, a more balanced sense of self-care and self-love. And it is about letting go of these old patterns with the moon in conjunction with the south node, as it will form shortly after the full moon illumination, that this eclipse is offering an opportunity to release out those patterns that no longer serve our highest good. Virgo's energy is actually urging us to let go of the perfectionism, the mental clutter, and the need for rigid control. So diarizing, meditation, and of course journaling and putting pen to paper and employing those mental to physical attributes are very healing and cathartic at this time. Whilst also Pisces and that Piscean energy is actually inviting us to surrender to the divine and the flow of this life. So putting pen to paper of what you don't want in your life no longer is very important. and releasing these outdated and restrictive ways of being, and how we create space for this transformation and this renewal of our sense of self, our identity, and that mind body spirit connection is fundamental at this time. And letting go of overthinking is and judgment of other people, judgment of ourselves, self-criticism, and again that internal dialogue, especially when it does come to our health and our routines, is very potent. It is about how we are caring for ourselves on a collective level, just as much as on an individual level. And it's calling us to trust the process. Trust the process to releasing out these old wounds and embracing these potentials for healing, for cathartic release, and for allowing this calibration and integration of our shadow, and of course with and the encompassing of our mind, body, soul connection. There is a lot of strong astrological influences with this current alignment, and Uranus is actually forming a sextile with the Sun in Pisces and also trining the moon in Virgo, which is bringing about this Taurian energy. Uranus is a planet of innovation and sudden changes. It is about liberation, and it plays such a significant role in this eclipse because of these harmonic connections that it is playing out. And it is encouraging us to break free from those old limitations, to embrace a more fluid and authentic way of being, and being able to connect with our soul in this harmonious aspect, to bring through these breakthroughs, to embody this inspirational representation that it is forging the strong, unpredictable energy with these luminaries in the sky. So I urge you to embrace change with an open heart, to trust that the universe is always guiding us towards a new and more authentic path. And I urge you to allow the Sun's connection to Uranus to encourage you to be bold, to take risks and trust in the unexpected and in the divine in and of itself. We are not bound by our past patterns. We are being given the freedom to step into something new, and I urge you to connect with that now. There is also a strong potent trine, of course, like I said, with the sign, with Uranus to the sign of Virgo. And this is helping mitigate and move and release these emotional stagnations and the mental blocks. The moon in Virgo is the governing of our daily habits and our emotional routines and how we care for our bodies. While this Uranian energy and this unpredictable energy trining to the moon itself is inviting us to release this emotional rigidity and also allow what no longer serves us and what has been holding us back for so long to take a powerful moment of release and surrender. It is about embracing this change in our daily lives, in our routines and in our habits, to be able to mitigate and move through these emotional layers to embody a sense of emotional freedom. And now enabling us and allowing us to break free from patterns of self-criticism and perfectionism. Virgo is a very strong embodiment to perfectionism from fully embracing our own healing journey. Pallas and Pluto sextiling to Mercury and Venus in Aquarius is also bringing this invitation to see beyond the surface and offering us a higher perspective on the challenges that we are facing as a collective. With Pluto in Aquarius sextiling Mercury and Venus in Aries, there is this beautiful, empowered way of rethinking how we communicate, how we love, and how we connect with others. These energies are inviting us to dig deep into our unconscious minds and being able to bring to the surface patterns that aren't serving us in our relationships, in our relationship with ourselves, in our relationship with money, in our relationship with love and beauty and all the fine things that we find tangible as well. Mercury has a strong conjunction with Venus in retrograde at this time in the full sign of Aries. So it is asking us to reconsider our values and how we go about expressing them as we are releasing and surrendering and bringing about and unearthing our heart's truth. We are able to communicate more clearly, love more authentically, and heal the old wounds in our relationship. Now, there is also a strong opposition between Saturn and the Moon, and this has a very strong karmic influence, just as the eclipse does in and of itself. And it's asking us to embody a sense of authority and responsibility in our life. Saturn in the sign of Pisces is bringing about this karmic influence into the eclipse, and it's urging us to step forward into our personal authority, take responsibility for our lives and the mistakes we've made and our successes as well. Just as there's good, there is also bad, and acknowledging where we're avoiding responsibility in our lives and where we're actually afraid to step into our power. It is about a time for emotional maturity, spiritual embodiment, and integrating the lessons of the past so that we can create a more solid and grounded foundation for the future, especially with this collective leap that we're making and we're taking forward with these eclipses and Neptune moving into Aries and then Saturn following into Aries, and then we've got Uranus moving into Gemini later this year. There is so many energies that are creating this masculine flow. They're all moving into masculine signs. We've got Pluto that is also in a masculine sign. So there is this asking us to step up into our own authority and how we're taking ownership of our health, how we're taking ownership into our spiritual path and our collective path of a consciousness and a oneness, and also how Saturn's presence is asking us to honor our commitments to ourselves and to take a full recognition of our structures and the daily structures and authoritarianism that we hold true over our own lives as well. So in essence, this lunar eclipse in this Virgo and Pisces axis is speaking directly to the reclaiming our balance, reclaiming our connection to our health, reclaiming our connection to our mind and our body and our spirit. And it's about no longer giving that power away. Like if we look back into 2020 and the likes, we've been giving our power away for so long to the powers that be, and as a collective we're being asked, especially with that Piscean energy, to come back to ourselves, and then with that Virgo energy, alchemize and refine our routines, refine our self-care practices, and trust in the unseen and find healing on that soul level, and integrate that mind body soul connection that I've been speaking to throughout this entire video, because there's a powerful opportunity there. We are able to take control of our lives, especially with that Saturnian energy, and cast a light on our shadow, all that we've neglected in our health, both emotionally and physically, and find that balance. And with Uranus there stirring up this innovative breakthroughing energy, we're being invited to reimagine how we approach wellness, how we approach life and our connection to our physicality just as much as our connection to our spirituality, and how we're integrating this more liberating sense of being in our daily lives and our daily practices, and the connection between the sun and the moon and Uranus, and of course Pluto as well. It's all bringing out this breaking free of the old, transcending, transmuting and transforming this ability to become empowered, this ability to embrace a more holistic, intuitive and soulfully connected way of caring for ourselves, and therefore as a result caring for others. So I urge you to surrender to the flow. This lunar eclipse in Virgo is reminding us that we do see things as we are and not as they are. So releasing these old patterns, releasing these old beliefs and these habits that are no longer serving us, we're able to connect with clarity, connect with ourselves, connect with our body, connect with our mind, connect with our spirituality, and then of course the world and the externalized versions of ourselves, and being able to empower our own beliefs, transform what doesn't serve us, and releasing it and transcending it into this new way of embodying who we truly are. And embodying this, it's like Abraham Hicks. I listened to Abraham Hicks, and it's about having those downstream moments. It's about being at flow. It's like just letting go of that cork and letting it rise, and just allowing it to move through life effortlessly. Yes, of course, bring structure, responsibility, authoritarianism, bring forth those tangible assets of our daily routine, but it's also finding that balance and having that availability to spiritually align, to also find that alignment in our routine, in our daily practices, in our health, in our body, in our mind, and embracing this flow and trusting and surrendering to what our true highest selves need for us. And of course, recalibrating and realigning with that north node, recalibrating and realigning with our soul's true trajectory, and surrendering and releasing all that no longer serves us and that has been holding us back for so long, especially since 2016 and 2015. So I hope this is a short but powerful and potent video to help you embody this lunar eclipse and also connect with your soul and recalibrate. So it is a perfect time to go for a ride and embrace that merging of the body and the soul and the mind, and being able to calibrate it, especially with that mercurial influence. It's a perfect time to also drain out that lymph through drinking lots of water and tea, of course, adding some Celtic salt to your water, and also dry brushing is a very potent thing for helping with that lymphatic drainage and being able to let go and surrender that on a more physiological level. And then also, of course, diarising. When it comes to Moon in Virgo energy, diarising is highly important for these individuals. So working on writing down what you want to surrender, what it is that no longer serves you, even just having that flowful state of pen to paper and just writing whatever comes out, allowing that, and then of course burning that as it no longer serves you in this time space reality. And of course just integrating with yourself and your soul and finding space and quiet and solitude to be able to connect with the ether, to connect with the divine, and to allow this DNA cellular upgrade to occur, especially with the energies that are coming into play over the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a massive shake-up, so please do stay grounded. It is an inspiring time, and if you're feeling unsettled and uncalibrated, of course please do find space to be grounded in negative ions, that be in the beach, on a walk on the beach, on a waterfall, in a lake, in a forest, near a tree. Just sit next to a tree. Just ask a tree to take your energy, just and plant your feet on the earth, plant your bum on the earth, whatever it is that takes a deeper, more soulful connection to the earth element as well, because we have that Virgo energy. So bless you and thank you for listening, and please, of course, feel free to follow my Instagram. I post lots of different content on there with regards to high vibrational, inspirational connection to the self and the soul on a psychological basis as well, because I am a psychology student and I do have to go and get started on my assignment. And of course, if you do have any questions, please reach out. And I also do natal chart readings, so feel free to explore that on my website as well. And yeah, bless you and happy lunar eclipse. Thank you and all the best.